Today, we are going to talk about what a calorie deficit is and how all popular diets create a calorie deficit in their own way. First, let's define what calorie deficit actually means. So, there's two words in it. A calorie is a unit of measurement for energy, and deficit means less. So, if you put the two together, you get a calorie deficit, meaning you are taking in less energy or calories than your body needs to maintain your current weight. In order to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. This is the only way to lose fat. Your body will always prefer to use energy that comes from foods that you eat. So the only way for you to use up stored energy, aka body fat, is to consume less energy than you need, so your body will be forced to tap into your stored energy. Now that we've defined what a calorie deficit is and why you need it in order to lose fat, let's talk about how all popular diets create a calorie deficit in their own way. First, let's take the keto diet, Atkins diet, low carb diet, and other similar diets that reduce carbohydrates. As mentioned, these approaches reduce or severely limit carbs. If you take away a whole macronutrient, so there are three macronutrients, which are carbs, proteins, and fat, you will automatically reduce calories. Another popular diet approach is intermittent fasting, or IF. Whether you do the 16-hour fast, 8-hour eating window, or the two times a week 24-hour fast, or whatever other intermittent fasting variant there are out there, the goal of intermittent fasting is to purposefully reduce your eating window. By reducing your eating window, most people will naturally eat less, which creates a calorie deficit. Another popular diet, the low-fat diet, does the same thing as a low-carb diet does, except instead of reducing carbohydrates, they reduce fat, thus creating a calorie deficit. Now we can go on and on about the different diets out there. However, a lot of them work through the same way by either getting rid of a whole macronutrient. Remember, there are proteins, carbs, and fat. Usually they get rid of either protein or fat. Sorry, not protein, fat and carbohydrates. Protein normally stays the same. Some even increase the amount of protein to make up for the lack of the other macronutrients. So if all diet approaches work because they create a calorie deficit with their own way, what does this mean for fat loss? Well, this means that barring any medical or metabolic conditions that may affect your health and nutrition, like diabetes, it doesn't matter what diet approach you choose to take to lose fat. What's most important is to ask yourself, which approach can I do forever? In order to lose fat and maintain your new weight, you will need to follow an approach for a long period of time, ideally for the rest of your life. Does this mean you need to diet forever to maintain fat loss? Of course not. You just need to stick with the principles that got you to your fat loss. So an example would be keto. You should only really choose keto if you're not a fan of carbs. Carbs like rice, pasta, potatoes, and those kind of things. Because even when you've lost the weight, in order for you to maintain your weight, you need to still practice some form of keto or low carb diet. Because if that's all that you've done to lose the weight, you will probably gain the weight back if you just go back to eating all the high carb, all the fun foods that you cut out when you went on keto. An approach to kind of mitigate the weight gain or to work around it is to slowly reintroduce your carbs to the diet. Once you've lost the weight after however long it takes you, don't just go straight back to eating ice cream, cakes, and whatever. Take some time to slowly build up your carbohydrate tolerance again so that you won't regain the weight. The moral of this video is that all diets work if you don't have any metabolic or health conditions such as diabetes. The key to long-lasting fat loss is to find an approach you'll be able to stick with forever. If you're Asian like me, keto and low carbs are probably not a good idea because, rice and carbohydrate foods is deeply rooted in our Asian cultures. So, before diving into the popular diet of the day, ask yourself, will I be able to eat like this for the rest of my life? If the answer is no, then find a different approach. If you want a simpler approach that doesn't include dieting, like using your conventional diets like low carbs, Atkins, or intermittent fasting and whatnot, then check out this video right here. And there you have it, what a calorie is and how all diets create a calorie deficit in their own way. So if you like this video, subscribe, comment down below if you have any other questions. Till next time, this is Brian B from Brian B Fitness. See ya.